truth with Pure Power Cord. Truth. The truth. The truth. The truth. The truth. Do you want to hear the truth? Do you want to hear the truth? Do you want to hear the truth? You want to hear the truth.
Good morning. So, slavery is a practice we often associate with chains, whips, and oppressive labor. It has supposedly been abolished for more than a century. However, in today's modern world, slavery has taken on a different, more insidious form. One that doesn't involve physical change, but instead invisible shackles in the form of debt, wage labor, and corporate exploitation. This is a slavery of the modern capitalist system where billions of people are tied down by loans, suffocated by interest rates, and held captive by a never ending cycle of consumerism. So many people would argue that capitalism, with its promise of freedom and opportunity, is a far cry from the brutal slavery of the past. But the harsh reality is that modern day capitalism has created a new kind of slavery, one where individuals are systematically stripped of their autonomy, independence, and dignity. Instead of physical chains, people are now bound by economic pressures and debt traps and the relentless pursuit of money to actually just survive. So, one of the most powerful tools that modern capitalism uses to enslave people is debt. Loans are marketed as a gateway to achieving dreams, buying a house, getting an education, or starting a business. But behind this veneer of opportunity lies a dark reality, and this is called a debt trap, designed to keep people financially dependent on banks and corporations for the rest of their lives. Take student loans, for example. In countries like the United States, millions of students take out loans with the hope that a degree will soon lead to a well paying job. Instead, many graduate with crippling debt and face a job market that fails to deliver on the promise of high wages in order to repay that debt. In many cases, people spend decades paying off their loans, barely making a cent due to high interest rates. If we just use our common sense, we can see things are way too expensive. If you look at a car in South Africa today, your average car is about 400,000 Rand. Now, let me give you a bit of a reality check. 30 years ago, when I bought my place was 98,000 Rand for a 2-bedroom apartment. Now, think about that. You're now buying a car for 400,000 Rand. You could have bought 4 apartments back then. Nothing but nothing justifies paying back a loan of 400,000 Rand for a car. At the end of that term of your loan period, which could be 5 to 7 years now, you could be paying R1,000,000 just for a car. Now let's talk about interest rates. Okay, interest rates is a legalized form of robbery. Because when people borrow money, they don't just pay back what they owe, they pay back significantly more due to interest on added cost for the privilege of borrowing that money. While banks and financial institutions frame interest as a necessary evil, the truth is that interest is legalized theft, a mechanism by which the rich profit from the poor. And this vicious cycle goes a step further, which is now called compounded interest. Interest calculated on both the initial principal and the accumulated interest ensures that loans grow exponentially over time. This means that even a relatively small loan can balloon into a massive burden for you, especially for those already struggling financially. It's a vicious cycle designed to keep people in debt for as long as possible. You see, for the wealthy person, it works in their favor. Rich people don't need loans. Further widening the wealth gap for the working class, interest is a noose tightening as wages stagnate, prices rise, and savings evaporate. Now, I bet there are many of you thinking out there, but we need a car in order to get to work or to do any sort of work, and we need a house to stay in. Sure, we do, but we don't need the best and the flashiest of everything. That is a problem with today's society. They set unrealistic norms. So you see your friend has bought himself a mansion. Keep in mind, once you've had a braai with him and had some lunch in his mansion, he goes on to pay it at the end of the month. You don't. So buy what you need, buy what is necessary. Do not buy unnecessary things because that will put a rope around your neck. So now we come down to the crux of the matter. What does the Bible say about enslaving ourselves with debt? Okay, Proverbs 22, verses 7 says this: The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender. How much more accurate can that be? Well, if you're thinking, I don't have to pay my debt and I don't have to pay anything because I actually just can't afford it, well, the Bible has something to say about that as well. In Romans 13, verses 7, it says this: Pay to all what is owed to them, taxes to whom taxes are owed, revenue whom revenue is owed, respect whom respect is owed, honor to whom honor is owed. So the Bible says you need to pay your debt if you make it. And my favorite book of the Bible again, Matthew, just says it all. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he'll be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. So we can see in the book of Matthew and the Gospels that Jesus emphasizes that we are to trust God in everything, even in what we need for our daily living. Matthew 6, verses 33 says this: But seek first the kingdom of his God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you, including the way you live and how you live and with what. Another great verse, Hebrews 13, verses 5, says this: Keep your life free from the love of money and be content with what you have. For he has said, I will never leave you or forsake you. Again, trust in God. Have you noticed people that have got fancy things are never really happy with their lives? They're always chasing something bigger and better. And that is a fact. The book of Ecclesiastes 5 verses 10 says this: He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves wealth with his income. This is also vanity. I'm going to leave you with this last Bible verse, Philippians 4 verses 19. And my God will supply every need of yours according to his riches in glory in Jesus Christ. So this weekend, when you're tempted to walk past a place that sells cars, won't mention any names, and you see this nice, flashy Honda R-type car, don't let it grab you like it grabs me. Think twice before you make an impulsive buy and get yourself in a debt trap. Hope this has helped you. Have an amazing week. Please subscribe and please like my stuff. Thank you. Cheers.